Thank you so much for this, having this conversation with me. We are going to talk about the class and the observation that I did. And well, I would like to know about your perceptions of the class. How was that? And we start.
The group is composed of 23 students, and it's basically, it's a very diverse group. I have some students that are newcomers, their English language proficiency is very low. There are others that their English language skills are very proficient. So that makes my job a little harder, because how can I bridge in the newcomers with those that are very proficient in the English language? So what I try to do with this activity that you saw a few days ago is like I just give a brief introduction about what we are talking, so they know and have a general understanding or general comprehension of who was Louis XIV and all that. And from there I gave them like those questions that they were going to look for, cut out those scrolls, put them around the sun, because it was about the Sun King. So trying to blend the listening skill with the writing, speaking, and reading as well, because they have to look for information in the internet. They have to write down that information. They have to analyze it, and sometimes they need to look for additional support with other students. So therefore, we try to get all those skills, reading, writing, speaking, and put them together in the classroom. And at the same time, because they're doing, therefore, I have some time to go around the classroom and try to differentiate instruction as much as possible. It's a very uphill task due to the fact because of the diversity of the group. But it challenged me to try to look for different strategies to how to reach and meet with the standards.
Yeah, but you did an awesome job.
Yeah,
because
thank you.
I really like when you interact with the students in either their target language or their native language. And I saw that it was they felt comfortable talking to you in either language, which is beautiful, because that's the way that they grow up and then build that up in the language that they are learning.
Yeah.
I also like that they interacted to each other. Like at the beginning, they were like so focused. The class was really well behaved. They pay attention to you very like all the time. And if they had questions, they had like just the trust and confidence to ask you a question, which is really good, because it's a good environment in the classroom. That's another thing that I noticed. Like it's like very positive. That I saw that they feel very comfortable with you, which is nice, because they are like willing to learn. I think. Don't you think?
Yeah,
what do you
it
think
is.
About that?
It is. And probably talking in their language as well helps me to build good relationships with them. And accepting that they can speak the language they want. They will feel accepted, they will feel integrated. So most of these kids, when they don't understand, they ask me in Spanish, so I talk in Spanish back to them. The point is that they learn what is expected, and they will acquire language in the process. Yes, sometimes it's very hard for me to start looking for different alternatives and make the class constantly interactive. Sometimes I run out of ideas.
We are, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody is under some.
Yeah, but because kids today, they get easily distracted. So it's very challenging for the teacher to look for different ways. They're very technological, and sometimes I'm not as technological as them. When I have an issue with my computer, can anybody help me with this that I don't know? And most of them, they're willing to.
So based on what we have talked about the class and the video that we watched, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best class you've ever taught and 1 being the opposite, where would you place that class?
I think like between the 7 and the 8, leaning more toward the 8. And I think that the reason why, yes, the kids were very engaged and the expectations were clear. And when I graded the papers, it was seen that they caught the terms, the concepts that are very important for what we were talking about. But however, I think that most of them, I saw them. Yes, they were focused on what they're doing, but I think they need a little bit more. They need to be more active. In other words, stand up, move here, move there. You know, more active learning. Even though they were doing things, they were cutting, they were talking between each other, but something that they can stand, they can move around, look for information in other places or whatever. I think that could be better. And I have done that before in other classrooms, and it's always a good strategy.
Okay. So what would have to change to make it closer to a 10?
Yeah, that's what I that's what I was saying. That probably uh, getting them, putting them in a more active environment instead of using the computer, looking for or doing some research to answer the questions, or talking between them because probably some of them they don't understood or they were not understanding because of their language barriers, or maybe they were consulting with their peer uh, it, to see if what they were doing was correct, if their responses were correct. I will also add that it will be better if they can stand up and do an activity that's a little bit more engaging, or even more, so they can stand and they can move around. Because I know that most of the day in their classes are always sitting. And here in Georgia, these kids probably they have 20 minutes of lunch, and the rest of it is cruel, hour and a half all the time. And I think that we need to change that setting so they can have some time to go around the classroom while they're learning, go around the classroom and do different activities.
So you'd like to have a large percentage of the students to be more engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have in our discussion that you'd like to do something more related to writing, right?
Exactly.
How do you think, it sounds like a plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think, what percentage could be in that students, what do you expect or what would you like to reach?
Well, I think that a fair number is between 75 to 85%. Okay, because there's always one student that it's very hard to keep him or her engaged. But I think that fair goal, a doable goal, should be between 75 and 85%. And in that activity that you saw, basically 75 to 85, almost 90% of the kids, they were actively engaged in the lesson. But I saw that it was too passive. I think that I could get a little bit more dynamic.
Okay, that's good. Well, sounds good. So let's go to identify the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So between 75 to 85, which one do you think?
Between
75 or 85? What do you think is?
Well, 80%.
80?
Yeah,
Okay.
80%.
So 80% of the students, you want them to be engaged. More engaged, actively engaged.
Actively engaged in the lesson. Mm-hmm.
In the lesson.
Yep.
And then we talk about the writing, so we can, how do you word your goal based on that?
Now, moving around. Hey, I didn't hear you. Can you please repeat? They were taking notes. And that's what I like to see in the classroom as well.
Oh, that's great. Well, so we already identified the goal, and I think you are explaining me what are your expectations with the goal, right? right?
Mhm.
So it's 80%, you want to see 80% of
Mhm.
authentically engaged
Yeah.
strategy.
Mhm.
And we are going to use Padlet and
Padlet,
the
yeah.
writing process
Mhm. Yeah.
so that they can get engaged and at the same time develop their writing
Mhm.
skills.
Mhm.
Is
Exactly. Yeah. And we're gonna do that in the upcoming week.
Yes, okay.
Mhm.
All right, so sounds a great start. So do you have any other suggestions for your goal?
No, I think that we're pretty solid with this.
All right, okay, good. Know if there is something that you notice that we could work together or that you feel like
Yeah,
for the
especially
students to
well,
build that up
ex-
better.
especially integrating a little bit more technology. They use it, but programs or platforms that could make the class a little bit more interactive. Because, for example, when you came here, what we were doing was an interactive notebook that implies cutting, bringing glue, coloring, taking notes, looking for information. That depends on the activities. I sometimes put them readings and then reading comprehension, and they cut out the questions and they glue them in their notebook. But I sometimes they also need other kind of things, using more technologies platform where they can put opinions, where they can chat between each other, where they can, sometimes they're shy, when they will probably feel a little bit more comfortable write it down. Things like that that could do the class a little bit more interactive, more virtually interactive, websites, among many other things. I think that that's my major weakness. So yes, I know that you will be a great support.
Well, I will try. So I know one that probably you can make it interactive and at the
Mhm.
same time they're gonna develop like some writing skills.
Okay.
It's a very good tool. It's called Padlet.
Okay, Padlet.
And it's like kind of
Yeah.
a moral. It's very easy to
Mhm.
use. You share it with the students, and then you can project it here on your board, and they're going to see the answers to the question. You can just give them a question, or you can use them for vocabulary. And then you can see how once they give the answer, it's just there in the moral of the Padlet.
Okay, so is this one?
So let me show you if you want. Oh, you put it already. Good. Nice. So in the gallery, we can see different examples of what Padlet looks like.
Mhm.
And that would be interesting to have it like bilingual.
Right.
You can try bilingual if you want
Mhm. Oh, really?
to see how much, because you have the students that have,
From the World
you told me at
Scholars
the beginning,
program. Yeah.
exactly. So they have like very good level of English, but some others are just still learning.
Okay, good.
So it would be nice. So as you see here, the students can answer to your question or to your topic. Like here is a fact or opinion. And you see that they can also add pictures. So for ELL students, I know that it's very important to have pictures for them
Yeah.
to support learning.